A good start, so he pushed too much in the first part of the race and he crashed, unfortunately. Today we will use probably the medium tire on the rear, but we have to be focused also on the energy that we have to put in the tire, because it is a long race, it is a hot surface, so it's necessary to take care about the rear tire and also about the front one.
Thank you, Paolo. Best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Paolo Bonora. Here is your starting grid then for this 27-lap Grand Prix of Indonesia. Everybody, as we expected, although Ralph Fernandez there, I just wonder if that graphic is correct, whether there's going to be some late change. On the graphic, though, at least, is running the soft rear tyre. Likewise, Taka Nakagami, that they were advised not to by Michelin. We'll keep a close eye on that, of course, because we are still about 20 minutes away from the start of this Grand Prix, so ample time for that to change before the start. But there's a few split decisions, Lewis, particularly on the front.
Yeah, the headline decisions on the front tyre. A lot of the riders on the grid are going for the soft front tyre. Brad Binder and Maverick Vinales are the two within the top six who've gone for the medium front tyre. The factory Ducatis of Enea Bastianini and, interestingly, Pecco Bagnaia have gone for the hard front tyre. So has Johan Zarco. Everyone else has gone for the medium front tyre. And as you mentioned, everyone has gone for the medium rear, with the exception at this stage of Ralph Fernandez and Taka Nakagami.
Well, a very special pre-race ceremony and show about to commence here in Indonesia. Right on cue to fill us in with all the details about what's going on in terms of tyre choice for this Mandalika Grand Prix. We can hear from Michelin Motorsport manager Piero Taramasso, who's with Simon.
Piero, there's been a lot of talk about tyres this weekend being so hot and so demanding, also in Moto 2. Can you give us the latest information?
Yes, the more we ride, the more we understand that this track is really demanding. The track surface, there is a lot of grip, but there is also a lot of thermal exchange in between the tarmac and the tire, so the temperature goes up, so the tire works really at the limit, so it's very easy to get some blister. Anyway, yesterday with the soft on the rear we managed to do the sprint, but today the choice will be medium on the rear, and from what I know, all the riders, they choose the rear medium because it's more resistant the blistering. Maybe only two riders, they will gamble with a soft, but they will struggle a lot for sure. And then we have to see at the end of the race. Also, it depends how the riders, they manage the tire, how is the electronic, the traction control. So everything they can do to save the tire, it will help them to have the best performance at the end.
Thank you, Piero.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Piero Taramasso then. The medium rear tyre was the one that we expect to be the optimum pick for this Grand Prix. There is Enea Bastianini then, at the moment, coming to the grid at least, with the hard front tyre. What about the KTM challenge? Brad Binder started ruled out of podium contention yesterday in the sprint with Alex Spargaro's mistake, and some post-sprint drama as well, when Jack Miller inadvertently crashing on his way back into the pit lane. They're going to be hoping for better fortunes, though, in the feature race here today. Let's get some thoughts from their team manager, Francesco Bidotti, who joins Simon.
Yes, he does. Francesco, can you give us your thoughts about each of your riders going into this race?
Yeah, will be a tough race with this condition. We know level of grip and temperature and everything is will be a long race. 27 laps. It's quite long race, but confident after yesterday information from Jack's side, because at the end Brad get hurt from Malaysia, and the bike was without winglets and so on. We didn't get many information, but yeah, we still have to make the very last decision about rear tire. But yeah, confident to have a good race.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks to Francesco Bidotti. Thanks then Simon Crowfar. This is some pre-race spectacle, isn't it, going down here on the grid? As we mentioned, we received such a warm welcome back to Indonesia for the first time since 1997, 18 months ago when we first returned to Indonesia. 2022, right at the beginning of last season. Listen to the crowd. We don't have the rain shaman here today.
Not necessarily.
But we have got we've got some show. Massive race coming up, isn't it? He's been banging the drum of late at the top of the MotoGP World Championship, Jorge Martin. How's he going to extend that 7-point lead over Pecco Bagnaia? Let's go and get some pre-race thoughts of Prima Pamela Ducati boss Gino Borsoi, who's with Simon.
Gino, another masterful display from Jorge from 6 on the grid yesterday in the sprint. How would this race change, in your opinion?
Well, it's for sure it's another race. We have to see where we are from middle to end of the race, because it could be like India race where the problem on the physical side can happen again, because it's so hard weekend for all the rider, and for sure so far. So let's see. And also we are not quite sure about the rear tire. We were a bit struggling yesterday with the rear tire, then we changed the idea today about the choice, and well, let's see. The feeling from the warm-up was so good. You felt so good on the bike, means when you felt so good on the bike, everything is under control.
Thank you, Gino. Best of luck.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Gino Borsoi, Jorge Martin's team boss, who actually, given what's at stake at the moment, what's on the line in the next hour or so, sounds pretty calm and relaxed. I'm sure inwardly he's feeling anything but, isn't he? It's going to be a hard act to follow, isn't it, for a race in the future, as we look at the dignitary in the background there, enjoying the pre-race build-up, the pre-race atmosphere. I'm told this is all part of it. It's a cultural performance known as the Guardian of Mandalika. There's Dornacio, Carmelo Espeleta, of course, who did so much work behind the scenes to bring MotoGP back to Indonesia. It's one of MotoGP's biggest markets, a huge and passionate fan base. And there's a really good crowd here today as well for this 15th round of the season. We'll quickly pop back down on the grid then and catch up with Simon again.
Just wanted to inform you something. You know how Piero from Michelin was convinced everyone was going to go for the medium rear tyre, bar 2, but further back. And so I'm towards the front of the grid doing the interviews. Francesco Guidotti saying that they're still going to make the tyre decision, the rear tyre decision. I was waiting for him to say something about that, because he's not bluffing. There's people watching each other, meaning what are they really going to run? It's almost like everyone's pretended they're going for the medium rear tyre, but they suspect that someone will change last minute, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. We'll keep a very close eye on that. Some beautiful aerial shots of some of the over 18,000 islands that make up this beautiful Indonesia. Around 6,000 of them are inhabited. Lombok, certainly a holiday hotspot. A couple of hours on the ferry, I think, to nearby Bali. I know there's a few members of the paddock who are hanging around in Indonesia for a couple of days to enjoy some more sunshine and some more heat before we head down to what's going to be a chilly cows and a much cooler Phillip Island. There we just saw a glimpse there of Jack Miller, who's going to be looking for a big pre-race Phillip before he goes to Phillip Island, isn't he? The track where he had Turn 4 named after him 1 year ago. What an accolade, what an honour that was for Jack Miller and his family. Although, let's not forget, in the Grand Prix, it was the very same corner where he got absolutely clobbered by Alex Marquez and wiped out in his home race. Let's hope there's better luck going through his own corner next weekend in Oz for Jack.
Yeah, the initial look at the forecast suggests that he might find some sunshine, but not a lot of heat. Quickly down to the grid then to talk Yamaha. Fabio Quartararo lines up 4th, Frankie Morbidelli 15th, team manager Maya Morigali's with Simon.
Yes, Mayo, I have to say, Fabio's qualifying looks really impressive. Great job. And Frankie, although a long way further on the grid back, he was only 2/10 slower. It looked like a tough race. What are you expecting today?
It's very difficult to predict because, you know, we swap from the soft to the medium, and for most of the people, the rider is quite unknown, and we don't know if the tire will drop, if it won't drop. It's very difficult to have an idea how the race can end up. For sure, for Fabio, it's going to be much easier than for Franco. You know, starting from the second row for us is very important. I don't want to say that you can do, or you did already 50% of the race, but it's helped a lot. Yesterday he could fight also a bit with Martin, but then anyway we really suffer a big drop on the rear tire, and yeah, we really hope that the medium will support him until the end, and then it will be also tough physically because here is so hot, and in this track it's difficult to breathe. You are always under the stress, and you can't have any relax. So I expect that for a few riders maybe the race will be even harder. But anyway, let's see how we can finish.
Mayo, thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Mario Maragall. We'll pause then now for the Indonesian national anthem.